best players of this millennium. Together, they were supposed to become a dynasty and win multiple championships. But after several playoff disappointments, they were headed for an ugly divorce. What came next was a series of provocations, subtle insults, and awkwardness. This is the story of the love-hate relationship between Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, and how they went from supporting teammates to an ugly beef.
If they stayed, bro, imagine if they stayed. I'm pretty sure they could have won a championship, because that's when KD left. KD was already a star caliber player in the OKC. Russell Westbrook was a star caliber player. They traded away James Harden. I bet OKC, if they had those three, bro, together still, like, around this area, bro, they'd have won a championship.
From 2007 to 2009, the Oklahoma City Thunder selected 3 of the 10 best players of this generation in consecutive drafts. After they drafted Kevin Durant and relocated to Oklahoma in 2008, they also added Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Serge Ibaka. The work they did in those 3 seasons was equivalent to winning the Mega Millions lottery 3 times in a row. But there were some serious growing pains from the start. Durant and Westbrook were both 20 years old when they played together for the first time, and it was obvious that finding the balance between the two would take some adjustment. A setup role didn't come naturally to the fiery, dynamic Westbrook, who had never been a full-time point guard. Russ led the league in total turnovers as a rookie, as Oklahoma City won just 23 games. However, with James Harden and Serge Ibaka on board, the Thunder became a dominant team, winning 50 and 55 games the following 2 seasons. And yet, months before their run to the 2012 NBA Finals, the first signs of trouble arose. Things got heated during a December game against the Grizzlies, when Durant tried to calm the angry Westbrook during a timeout, after Russ ripped into teammate Thabo Sefolosha for hesitating on an open 3. Durant and Westbrook began to argue, and it ended with Russ swatting away KD's hand. It wasn't a good look, especially because Westbrook finished the game 0 for 13, while Durant scored 32 points and bailed the Thunder out, winning 98-95. After the game, KD told people close to him that he wanted a meeting with general manager Sam Presti to discuss his growing doubts about Westbrook. But that meeting never happened, and Durant decided to keep building on the promise that they were going to win a title together. We're going to disagree sometimes, like I've always been saying, but I'm behind him 110%, and he's the same way with me. And for the remainder of the 2012 season, it was mostly smooth sailing. OKC had the second best record in the West, with the second best offensive rating in the league, as nobody could stop the 3-headed monster of Durant, Westbrook, and Harden. The Thunder were dominant in the playoffs, sweeping Dirk and the Mavs, getting past Kobe and the Lakers in 5, and then defeating Duncan and the Spurs in 6 games to reach the NBA Finals against Miami. However, despite KD playing a monster series, averaging 30 points on 55% shooting, and Russ not too far behind with 27, 6, and 6, James Harden disappointed. The Beard averaged just 12 points in the series, scoring under 10 points in 3 of the 5 games. But even though he had a bad series, Harden was a big reason why the Thunder got to the finals in the first place.
True.
Knocks it down at the buzzer.
So what happened next was one of the biggest mistakes in recent NBA
They
history.
fucking traded him.
Lennar has a hot selection of homes for sale
John
now
said, I
throughout
bet. I'll
Miami-Dade
make y'all learn.
and Broward. Pay 0.
Just days before the start of the 2013 season, the Thunder traded Harden.
They didn't want to give Harden the max. Their position was everyone who's re-signed here has sacrificed a little something, even Durant, even Russell Westbrook, so they were looking for Harden to be willing to take a little less than the max.
Even though he still had 1 year left on his rookie contract, OKC was afraid to go into luxury tax. And instead of giving Harden a full $60 million max contract, they only offered him $56 million, which James took as an insult. So, for about $4 million, the Thunder lost a future Hall of Famer, and they got 10 cents on the dollar in return. But even though they made a colossal mistake, they were still good because they still had Russ and KD. In 2013, the Thunder won 60 games. They had the best offensive rating in the league, but after a collision with Patrick Beverley in the first round of the playoffs, Russell Westbrook tore his meniscus and was out for the season. OKC still managed to win the first round against Harden and the Rockets, but they quickly got ousted from the playoffs in the next round against Memphis.
With the season on the line and the Thunder on the brink of extinction, Kevin Durant looked like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. And while we're used to the guy making Superman-like plays, he has clearly found his kryptonite in the Memphis Grizzlies. KD hit only 5 of 21 shots for 21 points.
And we fought every single game. Every one of these games came down to the last few minutes. And it was unfortunate that we didn't come out on the winning side.
With Westbrook undergoing 3 knee surgeries and missing half of the 2014 season,
3
the
knee
Thunder
surgeries,
needed KD to play perfectly just to make the playoffs. And Durant did exactly that, entering God mode, averaging 35 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 6.3 assists
KD,
without Westbrook in the lineup. After the All-Star break, Russ returned.
The injury report for the Thunder, none. In the starting lineup, Russell Westbrook. His first game since Christmas Day, following the 3rd knee surgery within a year.
But the Thunder were smoked by the Miami Heat on national television in his first game back. After they lost 2 more games, with Durant and Westbrook both playing heavy doses of iso ball, KD started worrying that the readjustment to Westbrook would hurt his chances of winning the MVP. Then, Brian Keefe, a Thunder assistant at the time, delivered a blunt message: get over yourself. He let me know how bad I was, my body language, my attitude. I just decided to look at myself and self-evaluate. And he was right. I had to change how I...
Get over himself. My nigga. Your point guard is out. Y'all traded James Harden. KD's the only one left. He brought y'all to the finals, man. He brought y'all to the playoffs. Get over him. He's shooting 35 points per game. Get over himself.
I was thinking how I was acting towards my team.
Good shit, KD. Good shit you left.
And after that meeting, the Thunder started winning games, finishing the season with 59 wins. And with 32 points per game, KD finally won the MVP award. In one of the most famous MVP speeches ever, Kevin was extremely emotional, especially when thanking his mother.
You went to sleep hungry. You sacrificed for us. You the real MVP.
However, when it came to his teammates, he thanked Russell last. But it was clear how much he cared for his point guard, despite all their differences.
I know you guys think I forgot Russ. It's days where I want to just tackle you and tell you to snap out of it sometimes, but I know it's days you want to do the same thing with me. I love you, man. I love you.
But in the 2015 season, the roles were reversed.
Look at the KDs. Everybody had these KDs. This KD run with, bro, KD made money. These one of the best KDs of all time. These one of the best shoes of all time, man.
It was Durant who missed the majority of the season due to a Jones fracture in his foot.
The NBA's MVP has a foot fracture. He'll need surgery, likely out 6 to 8 weeks.
And in his absence, Westbrook was fully unleashed, averaging a league-leading 28 points per game. However, without KD, the Thunder missed the playoffs by 1 game. And despite their superstars thriving on their own, it was clear that the Thunder needed them both to be successful. In 2016, it was year 8 of Durant and Westbrook's partnership. And it seemed like this was finally going to be their year. Under the new coach, Billy Donovan, who replaced the incompetent Scott Brooks, OKC finally started playing better basketball, utilizing the 1-3 pick and roll between Russ and KD.
Give that ball.
With the emergence of Stash Bros, Steven Adams, and Enes Kanter, plus the development of Serge Ibaka and Andre Roberson, OKC finished the regular season with 55 wins and the second-best offense in the league. The relationship between Russ and KD seemed to be at an all-time high. And when KD was inducted into the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, he chose Westbrook to introduce him. A year earlier, at the 2014 ESPYs, Durant called Westbrook his favorite teammate. And when Mark Cuban called Russ an unwarranted superstar, KD replied,
"He's an idiot. Don't listen to this. He's an idiot." All right, that's what we got to say about that. He's an idiot.
But still, it wasn't like the two superstars stopped fighting. After they defeated the Mavericks in the second round against San Antonio, Russ and KD entered a yelling match on the sideline after a missed defensive assignment. However, they quickly patched things up, and after 6 games, they defeated the Spurs and went to the conference finals, where they matched up against the best regular season team of all time. But against the 73-9 Warriors, it seemed like Russ and KD finally found their mojo, as they took a commanding 3-1 lead in the series.
I did not expect Russell Westbrook to be this dominant, and he is. He reminds me of what Kobe Bryant once said about him when he said he's the only dude in the league with my DNA.
The Warriors won Game 5 at home, despite a combined 71 points from KD and Russ.
beat
In
them.
Game 6, it looked like OKC was heading towards another finals appearance when they took an 8-point lead in the fourth quarter. But then they fell apart. Even though this game will forever be remembered for Klay Thompson's hot shooting, who hit 11 threes, it was the Thunder's mistakes that cost them the game. OKC turned the ball over 6 times in the last 8 possessions.
This isn't just a wallet, it's a rare find. There's something different about owning something almost nobody else has. That's why when Ridge dropped...
4 times...
Golden State, to me, is what the Chiefs are. They got their rings the same fucking way. Fuck the Chiefs, fuck Golden State. They're like the same team to me. I don't like
Russ.
Westbrook stumbling, lost it.
Twice by KD.
Rebound Durant. And he lost it.
There was still Game 7, but after a disastrous third quarter where they got outscored 29-12, it was all over. And OKC became just the 10th team in NBA history to blow a 3-1 lead in the playoffs. OKC fell apart in the clutch.
When you really break it down, I don't think they choked. I think OKC wasn't as good as Golden State, and it ends there.
No lead is safe with this team. So, when you have them
down,
3-1
lead though.
Mr. Barker says you got to put your foot in your throat and take them out. OKC had that opportunity. They had them up 3-1, and they couldn't take care of business.
And with their downfall, the relationship between their two superstars fell apart too. Durant found it increasingly difficult to tolerate Westbrook's hero ball, and the fact that his great capabilities were often overshadowed by stubbornness, turnovers, and forcing tough shots against double teams. But it wasn't like it was all Westbrook's
fault. You'd rather have a mid-range than a 3?
Tough shots against double teams. But it wasn't like it was all Westbrook's fault. One of the common misconceptions in basketball is that certain players cannot play together because there's only one ball. And while it's true that Durant, Westbrook, and Harden are all players who need the ball in their hands, the problem was that Oklahoma never had a proper offensive system. In fact, it didn't have anything resembling a system. They had a few well-coordinated plays that they rotated from year to year. And that was pretty much it. The offense mostly came down to changing the focal point. One possession focused on Russ, one on Durant, and the third on Harden when he was there.
Trusting in it. Keep trusting it. Yeah, but you gotta be aggressive early, all right? Early. So if you get the rebound, be aggressive. Your threes are good. You're gonna hit your threes, but if you got layup opportunities, drive.
Towards the end of their run, when Scott Brooks was replaced by Billy Donovan, they developed the 1-3 pick and roll between Russ and KD. But if the action didn't go right at the start, they would quickly revert to iso ball. And between 2014 and 2016, OKC was last in the league in made passes. Oklahoma drafted the best players, but it did not fit them together well. The Thunder never found something like the triangle that helped Michael Jordan transform from his individual dominance into a winner. Nor did they develop the positionless motion offense that Eric Spoelstra used to enable LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh to win titles. A quality system will force great players to sacrifice both their egos and individual statistics, and it will reward that sacrifice with success. Oklahoma never did that. It cannot be said that the Thunder were not an efficient team, but their efficiency laid in the fact that no team could stop their superstars one-on-one, and their ability to draw fouls. Lots and lots of fouls.
Somehow Durant lets it go!
From 2010 to 2016, Oklahoma finished in the top 3 in free throws made 4 times, and in the top 10 in all 7 seasons. OKC could dominate against teams over which it had an advantage in individual talent, which was the majority of teams in the league from 2010 to 2016. But when they ran into a team that could match their talent, there were problems. And while it's true that Westbrook was sometimes like a cow that gives 100 liters of milk and then suddenly goes wild, kicks the bucket, and spills it all with unreasonable three-pointers early in the shot clock, forced isolations, and plenty of turnovers. But Russ also drew a ton of fouls, played a great pick and roll with Kevin Durant, found open teammates after drives, played decent on-ball defense, and took over games at key moments. Westbrook brought a much-needed dose of madness to OKC's stagnant offense. Since he himself didn't know what he was going to do next, neither did the defenses. So the Thunder could count on their best options not always being shut down. Even though KD was always the best player, Russ was the player who gave OKC the best chance to win a title. But after that title never came, because when Durant became a free agent in 2016, it was logical for him to move elsewhere. The biggest problem was that he moved to the worst possible.
These KDs were tough too. I can't lie. These KDs had a good run. KD had some good runs, bro. KD had some good shoe runs, bro. I'm telling you.
team, the one that just defeated them in the playoffs and had the best regular season in NBA history, the Golden State Warriors. Just 1 week before he posted the infamous My Next Chapter letter on Players Tribune, Durant was sitting in a restaurant with Westbrook and Nick Collison, who both fully expected him to re-sign with the Thunder.
Great organization, great people around us, great town.
We've seen it be built from the beginning.
The logo just to me, just a sense of pride that you have when you put the jersey on.
But then KD stopped communicating with his teammates, and he only sent a short text message to Russ mere minutes before the world found out about his decision. And that's when it all turned sour.
The news again coming in moments ago, Kevin Durant heading to the Golden State Warriors. How are you viewing this move from Durant?
Well, I'm viewing it as the weakest move I've ever seen from a superstar.
A couple of hours after Durant's decision was announced on July 4th, Russ posted a photo of some cupcakes with the caption, "Happy 4th, y'all." The photo was a clear message for Durant. When Kendrick Perkins played for the Thunder, he called teammates cupcake if he thought they were acting a little soft. So this was Russ taking a jab at KD, but it wouldn't be the only one.
I could have handled it to any other team but the Warriors.
And Kevin Durant, well, he's staying silent tonight on Twitter after the big announcement.
A month after Durant left for the Warriors, Westbrook signed his extension with the Thunder. He then also released a commercial for the Jordan.
I ain't gonna lie, I was hitting on KD too when he did that shit. I'm like, why are you going to that dumbass, stupid ass, trash ass, garbage ass, garbage ass team, Golden State Warriors? Why would you do that? Why? And I kept on thinking. I think he just wanted the motherfucking ring. He got the MVP. If he stayed OKC, he was not for to get a ring. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You got out of left too. Shit. I would have got my ass gone. I'm leaving myself. But I'm not gonna go to trash out Golden State again. He should have went to the Cavs. I've been overpowered. Oh man, bro. LeBron, KD, and Kyrie. That would have been a dynasty team instead of that trash ass, stank ass, garbage ass team, bruh. Fuck Golden State.
With a tagline,
"Some run, some make runways,"
which was another clear shot at KD. But Durant didn't just stand pat and say nothing. In an interview with Rolling Stone magazine, he downplayed his and Russell's relationship, saying they were only work friends, despite calling him a brother and a family member just a few years back. "We had our own cliques that we hung with on the road. Russell had his guys, I had mine. It was never a bad thing, just how it was."
Struggling with job hunting in 2025? Fellow is here to help. Upload your resume and our...
After their first preseason game, KD talked about his new teammates in Golden State with praise. "I wanted to see if what I'd heard and what I'd seen on the outside is really true. Do these guys really genuinely love each other? They work together. You hear family a lot. That's just a word sometimes, but this is really a lifestyle here. You can feel it when you walk in the door, in the practice facility. Everybody is just together. I really feel grateful to play for a team like that and play with a bunch of players who are selfless and enjoy the game in its purest form." When Russ was asked about it, he added more fuel to the fire, and the beef was starting to cook really well.
What do you think about him saying that about Golden State?
That's cute, man.
That's cute.
When the NBA season started, OKC played against Golden State in just the 5th game of the year. And before their first matchup as opponents, Westbrook decided to show up to the game with an official photographer outfit. Even though he never admitted it, it was clearly inspired by Durant, who is an avid photographer and who even got to cover Super Bowl 50 in that role. But when the actual game started, Russ had very few things to be happy about, with the Warriors smashing OKC by 26 points and Durant outscoring him 39-20. The second time around, when the two teams played each other in January of 2017, it didn't get much better for Westbrook and the Thunder, with KD scoring 40 points to Westbrook's 27, Golden State winning by 21. At the end of the game, when Thunder's center Enes Kanter approached to talk to his former teammate, Russ was caught on camera cursing him out for saying what's up to Durant. After the game, when asked if he and Durant were on speaking terms, Westbrook answered bluntly,
"Nah."
Their third matchup of the 2017 season came on February 11th, and it was the first time KD was back in Oklahoma after signing with the Warriors. Durant was prepared for a hostile environment. There's no way he could have been ready for that much hatred.
Starting at forward, 6'9",
How they came out there and
Texas,
started
number 35, Kevin Durant.
Bro,
I love that hate,
have now
bro.
become
That
a
hate-
very
that hate
familiar
fuels me,
term
bro.
within the Thunder fans, and along with plenty of signs, derogatory language, and cupcake cardboards, the fans booed KD every time he had the ball. However, when the game started, it was mostly about basketball, until Andre Roberson fouled Durant hard, and the two had a scuffle that was clearly personal. Then, during the third quarter, after a timeout was called, Westbrook had nothing nice to say to KD after they met at midcourt. But even though he may have won the shouting match, he didn't win the game, as Golden State easily defeated the Thunder for the third straight time, despite 47 points from Westbrook. The two beefing former teammates didn't have to wait long to see each other again, as they were both selected to represent West at the 2017 All-Star Game in New Orleans. And it was as awkward can be. KD and Russ used to take bus rides together to All-Star games and sit next to each other in the locker room. Now, one of them requested to be seated on the opposite side so they could limit any contact as much as possible. The players who were with them described the feeling in the practice locker room as painfully quiet and uncomfortable. Even for Friday media day, Westbrook was late on purpose, just so he didn't have to answer questions next to Durant. Eventually, Westbrook showed up and inevitably had to answer questions about Kevin. But Westbrook's strategy became obvious rather quickly, flipping each question into something about fashion.
Man, you know what? Fashion Week has been great. You see Fashion Week?
However, when the game started, instincts took over and everything was forgotten for a brief moment. As Westbrook came into the game midway through the opening quarter, it took less than a minute before Russ gave KD the look, the one he gave him so many times before. Durant made a cut across the lane, Westbrook fired a pass his way, cut behind it, and Durant lobbed it up for a Westbrook dunk.
Hey, come on, bro, that's basketball, bro.
The building erupted.
Y'all can leave
that brief
foolishness
moment, everything
alone,
returned to normal. Everybody cheered.
y'all play
The ice
basketball,
was
y'all
finally
say
broken,
team, play
and
basketball.
awkwardness was gone. But it lasted a total of 82 seconds, which was the time the beefing duo spent on the court together.
There was a nice alley-oop you threw in the late first quarter, and the recipient was wearing 0. What did you think about that play?
It's a great basketball play. He was open, so I threw him the lob.
That's all that happened. You just do a lob. It's basketball. That's it.
No high fives, nothing.
Did you see it?
The fourth time that OKC and Golden State met during the 2017 season, Kevin didn't play due to injury. A few months later, Russ won the MVP after averaging a triple-double for the season.
And the winner of the 2017 NBA Most Valuable Player Award is Russell Westbrook.
While KD finally got what he always wanted, winning his first championship with the Warriors. And yet, the beef wasn't over. The world wasn't going to let this one go.
If you're Russell Westbrook, you have to look in the mirror now more so than ever before, particularly because Kevin Durant is now a champion.
Peyton Manning took the opportunity to stir the pot at the 2017 ESPYs.
Could have won it, bro. They could have wanted to get him. They could have wanted to get him Brooklyn. These injury-prone ass niggas, injuring. Fuck. James Harden out of shape. Kyrie get injured. God, KD come back from injury. Oh my, they could have won it, bro. They could have won it, bro. That was one of the greatest teams to ever form, kid. Injuries, bro. Injuries, the bubble.
Dominant that Kevin Durant told me he wants to play for them next year.
When the 2018 season started, KD played his second game back in OKC. But this time around, the crowd wasn't as hostile, despite a few cupcake signs. But between him and Russ, there was still tension.
The official's going to have to step in sooner or later.
Oh, he said you pussy.
Still tension.
He said you pussy.
Have to step in sooner or later.
However, during the rest of the season, the beef seemed mostly dormant. At the 2018 All-Star Game, the energy was vastly different, with KD saying positive things about Westbrook, admitting that he was the one to blame for the situation.
I just got out of my own head and got out of my own way and started, thinking it was even a thing, I feel like I just made it a thing when it shouldn't have been. So it's cool to kind of get past that and just appreciate these guys for who they are and what they do. And it's all love at the end of the day.
Durant was also quick to praise Westbrook when asked about his favorite dunk, even if he didn't mention him by name.
The 6'3" guy I used to play with a couple years ago, his athleticism was off the charts. So I used to see him do normal dunks every day, and
now when I see dunks, it's not as good as his. So he's an athletic guy. I think he plays with OKC. I threw him a lob one game, and he was over top of the backboard. And after that, nobody else could compare.
Okay, if there's one AI site builder you need to meet, it's this dope tech from Wix.
When he appeared on Bill Simmons' podcast in March of 2018, KD spoke about Russ and that whole ignoring situation at the 2017 All-Star break. It was awkward for me because I'm like, first of all, I got pride. We both got pride. So if I walk up to somebody and they just ignore me, I would get really upset.
Me
I
too.
would get really mad. You know what I'm saying? I don't really get mad.
Nigga think he is. I would have took off on him, bro.
So I didn't want to make it an awkward situation for him. I didn't want to make it an awkward situation for me. So it was weird. I wanted to ask Russell, like, how's your family doing, man? How you feel? Stuff that normal people talk about. But there's so many cameras watching and it's, oh, hey, what'd they talk about? They didn't look at each other. They didn't even say hi. It was just making me so mad. They say time heals all wounds. But even though a lot had passed, the beef between Russ and KD didn't die. And the biggest reason for that was social media. Durant was long known for getting into interactions on Twitter and IG. And
KD stay talking that shit on social media, but he don't give a fuck. Bro, you talk shit like, bro, you tag KD something, bro, you see that shit, you don't like that shit, he gonna let you know. I remember one time some nigga tweeted, KD go back to OKC, win championship, then you'll be forgiven. And what KD said, go to sleep. You got work in the morning.
In the spring of 2018, he liked a post saying that Russ was the reason he left OKC. Durant later told ESPN that it was a total accident, that he liked the comment regarding Westbrook, which nobody believed was true. What also didn't help was his brother and close associates also posting negative things about Westbrook, thus keeping the beef alive.
Sorry, I'm gonna get his ass back. Straight up.
In 2019, after it seemed that nobody was talking about it anymore, the always loud and always controversial Stephen A. Smith chimed in, saying that Westbrook never bought into Durant's leadership ability.
And I asked somebody, I said, I don't understand. They said,
the championship and then finals
if you're
MVP.
going to get on KD about anything, you've gotten on him about the wrong.
You can be either Guala and the finals MVP
when he was in Oklahoma City,
trash Golden State.
He wasn't used as a leader. I was like, what were you talking about? I mean, I know just because you're the best player don't mean leader. He said he was the best player. They said, but it was hard for Russell Westbrook to follow him because KD, the man that you see right now, was a boy back then. And Russell Westbrook came in a man.
A year later, Durant appeared on All the Smoke podcast, adding more fuel to the fire.
I played with a lot of athletes. I didn't play with a lot of skill guys, not like shooters, ball handlers. So after a while, my game started to grow. I was like, I need a change. This is before the season even started. I was tired of like having to be the only guy that can make threes, make jump shots, and consistently make them.
In 2021, Durant appeared on another podcast and failed to mention Westbrook as one of his top 5 teammates.
Top 5 players you ever played with?
Kyrie.
Hell yeah.
James. Steph. Clay. And I'm gonna go Serge Ibaka.
Damn.
I thought somebody else was going to go into that from LA.
Listening.
However, in the last couple of years, it seemed like the two finally buried the hatchet. In a 2023 playoff series between Russell Westbrook's Clippers and Durant's Suns, KD had nothing but praise for his former teammate.
When he's retired, people are going to really tell the truth about how they feel about his game. Right now, it's a fun thing to do is to make a choke out of Russ, but he the way he's been playing is since he got with the Clippers, showed everybody who he really is.
Durant said after Game 4 when Westbrook had 37 points. And even though there was still some trash talking during the series, it felt different. And it was more playful, competitive banter rather than an ugly beef that used to exist between them.
Is that Eric
they
Gordon?
even
That's
dapped up
NBA
in the
Live
tunnel
Mobile.
after the game. When the duo saw each other at a college football game in 2024, it was all love, and we hope it stays that way for good. Thanks for watching. And if you like this video, we have another one for you right here.